Saving money is incredibly important and one of the only ways you can get ahead in life. You often hear the saying you want every dollar working for you. Well, before all of that, you need a safety net of money in case any of life's unexpected events happen. In the blink of an eye, something can happen to you that forces you to cough up hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Every time you have $2 in your bank account and act like it's okay, you're deluding yourself. There's lots of funny memes about this around right now, but reality isn't a bunch of memes. A study showed that most Americans have barely any savings. Remember, I'm still on my own self-development journey, so I haven't hit the amount I want to be at, but I'm at least working on it. You need to get to where you have at least $1,000 in your bank account at all times, bare minimum. Never ever below. I've gotten to 5 digits in my life multiple times like I've said before, but still haven't hit 6 digits. But I've also been very broke. Believe me, having the savings is much better. So how do you save money? If you're a working adult, there's almost no doubt you've had $1,000 in your account many times. The trick is though, you're never supposed to go below that because it's said you need at least 6 months of expenses saved up in case things go wrong. If you're not making that much, just be honest with yourself, it'll help you get to where you want to be. I've done several videos on inner strength, so now you at least have the knowledge to have the inner strength to resist buying things that are keeping you from being at $1,000. Inner strength helps you in every area of life, but money is yet another area. So to get to where you always have $1,000, you need to be humble with how you're spending your money. What are you buying that isn't essential? If you're buying deodorant that's $6 instead of $1, you're spending 6 times what you need to on that product. Where I live, the minimum wage is $7.25, so you're spending nearly 1 hour of minimum wage work on deodorant. Most don't currently make minimum wage because companies can't keep anybody paying that, but still, that's what 1 hour is equivalent to when talking minimum wage. So ask yourself this question: is having slightly better deodorant worth not always having at least $1,000 in my bank account? Always ask this question. Is having slightly better clothes worth not always having $1,000 in my bank account? Is having slightly better food worth not always having $1,000 in my bank account? If the food's healthy, then you can at least make an argument for that one, I will admit. I know I repeated myself there, but I really wanted to stress that point. Most of the time, the things we spend money on go way past the level that's essential. But if the food's really unhealthy, let me give you an example. So I definitely still get fast food sometimes, which I could do better on. But anytime I'm doing that, I mainly count my meals by calories and protein. So the first thing I'm looking for is calories. I'm not trying to lose weight, in fact I'm trying to gain it because I'm still somewhat skinny even though I've packed on 50 pounds of muscle that I didn't have before, but anyway. So what I look for first is I want to make sure I'm hitting my daily value for calories, which for men is 2,400 and for women is 2,000. I've looked around and you can find different values for these, but that's generally what they are. Anyway, so the main meal I'm going to eat to get me those calories is dinner. So I usually want a dinner that's going to give me at least 800 to 1,000 calories. So I could buy fast food for $10 to $15 and easily get that. I get a decent tasting meal hopefully and get my calories along with a lot of other unhealthy things. But instead, every single time I've done this, I could have bought a can of beans for about $2 and gotten the same amount of calories, or half a box of pasta, which would have got me 800 and is very healthy. And you can often still buy a box of pasta for $2, $1, and sometimes still even less than $1. So fast food is very convenient, that's the main thing is it saves time. But your time is also converted into money. Every time I spend $7, I've spent about what the minimum wage is where I'm at. So even though you very likely make more, much more than that, and so do I, ask yourself, was what I just bought worth an hour of minimum wage work? The next way you can do this to where you can drastically save money is bills. Almost everyone could cut down on their bills, usually pretty significantly. Do you have a subscription service you basically never use? Do you have multiple? If you cut them out, you've likely saved at least $15 to $100 a month or sometimes more. Are you paying way more on your rent than necessary? Can you afford it? Depending on the answers to those questions, you may need to look for cheaper areas to live. Is your electricity bill way higher than it should be? If you're not at $1,000 in the bank, it's one of the easier ways you can save money. Cars are a huge money drain. Did you buy the super expensive tires? Did you spend way more than you needed to by not checking with multiple mechanics when your car got a major problem? If you can afford these things, great. If not, you should try to pause a little bit and research a little more before making these big decisions. A guy I know recently got suggested to him by a plumber that he needed to spend several $1,000s tearing down his floor to get to some pipes from a big name brand, and he called another company just to make sure, and their estimate to fix it was around $100 or $150 because it was actually a very minor problem. Some companies will try to get you to spend lots of money when you don't know anything about what they're fixing. So one way to look at getting to $1,000 in your bank account is if you can find a way to save $50 each month, it would take you 20 months to save $1,000. That's too long. So if we saved $100 each month, it would take you 10 months to save $1,000. That's still pretty long, but if that's truly all you can scrape together each month, it may be what you have to do. But if you can do it, you should try to save $200 each month until you're at $1,000, and that would take 5 months, or 3 months if you save about $330 each month. It's up to you the time frame you want to do this and your financial goals for your life. There has to be a point where you don't want to just survive on the bare minimum, but start gearing your life towards thriving. As someone who taught me before said, living in abundance instead of living in scarcity. I've just always known saving money is good, and funnily enough, I probably learned this from a video game, Final Fantasy XI. In that game, money was not easy to come by at all, and if you became broke, your adventure could grind to a screeching halt. It taught me that it's always good to have lots of savings because it's really never enough. If my savings aren't where I want or need them to be, I have to fix that, and only I truly hold the power to fix it. So around 2010, when I was basically still a teenager, I got to $1,000, and from there, even though I got broke a few times, I've maintained the same value of if I don't have savings, I'm doing something wrong. So I'd say do whatever you have to do to get to $1,000 that won't compromise your health or safety. To start really improving your life, the mental aspect is the number one thing. As they say, your attitude determines your altitude in life. But yeah, you pretty much need money to start making the changes you want to make in your life to start meeting the goals you want. As they say, you've got to spend money to make money, and most of the time that's true, especially with bigger projects.